Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking into our latest TDR Trade to Black podcast. End of summer. We're heading into the fall season. Election is only 60 days away. We talk a lot about rescheduling. We talk a lot about Amendment 3 in Florida. One of the players, Planet 13, their co-founder and co-CEO, Larry Scheffler, will actually be joining us in just a moment to talk about latest developments and how things are progressing in Florida. As well, want to get a better idea on branding. We all know the challenges this industry presents, but let's face it, Planet 13 has done that just about as good as anyone in the industry. So let's welcome in TDR co-host Anthony Varell. Good to see you. How are things?
Good to see you. How's it going?
Good.
Busy week so far.
I know. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but, for the most part, we'll get into that stuff later on. But I did want to get Larry Scheffler, co-CEO of Planet 13, back to the podcast. Good to see you. And lots going on in your world as well. We'll talk about all these other things about rescheduling and all that crap, I should say, in a bit. But let's focus on what we can control now. And, how's things been? It's the summer's over. We're getting into the fall season. I know there's a lot of moving parts that you guys have been working on since you were joining our podcast 3 months ago, Florida being one of them. So maybe an update on how things are progressing, knowing the acquisition with VidaCann. I think it's closed almost 4 months ago now. Where's time go, right?
Correct. Yeah. We just had a huge meeting down there last week. We had about 55 people together from all of their managers and a lot of our upper management and executive team that went down to finally meet everybody and talk to everybody and give a good pep talk on how well they're doing. I was, again, very amazed. I'd been down there a few times, but to get the tour that we did, the size of their grow alone, they're in 60 days, they'll be at 340,000 square feet of grow facility in Jacksonville, which is just a monster.
That's big.
But of course, they're getting prepared for the other 10 stores we will have open by the end of the year. Another 12 to 15 will be open next year, so that'll give us 48 stores. So there's a lot to supply also.
Yep.
And so that's a big part of it, but they're doing a great job. I guess the biggest and most exciting part for me, and I didn't really realize it, we've talked about it here, but their tissue culture lab. Okay. Unbelievable what they're doing. I think we're the only cannabis company right now in the world that is doing the tissue culture not using moms, totally done in test tubes.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And we've got, and without giving too much away, we have got a lot of... We've got a lot of future excitement of what we're going to be doing over the next year in that tissue culture lab.
Mm-hmm. Out of that cultivation facility with that 300,000 plus square feet, how much of it is indoor grow currently?
None is indoor grow. It is a temperature, humidity controlled parts of the greenhouse, but not an actual indoor seal grow like we have, say, here in Las Vegas and probably so many other people. But they're doing a great job in it. Their hardest part is 3 months that it's just ending now in the summer when the temperatures are just so hot down there. So that's the hardest part.
And as far as that facility goes, will that be able to cater to the 48 count of stores?
Absolutely.
Let's say at the end of 2025.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. They're really growing in excess what they need right now. But we're in the process of refining everything, getting everything under the right controls. Our head grower here, Chris, working with their guys, along with the tissue culture guy that, of course, is breeding certain plants to even withstand better heat, better products, higher THC, super plants. Yeah, that's what we're working on. That's really the future in our mind. If all of that comes to fruition, selling cannabis be like having a 5 and dime candy store in relation to what the whole company's worth.
So,
but it's all in the future. It's all in the future. But we've got a lot of excitement as I've been down there, and we've been all putting our heads together and what direction we're going and how we're going to achieve all this.
It's a common theme that we talk about in this podcast, all about the future. Is it not, Anthony?
Yeah. Very, very, very much so. Do you still have plans to bring the superstore to the state of Florida?
So if it passes November, we'll be in Miami. We've gone down twice already to see the site. We did have 2 years ago one of the largest commercial real estate owners in the United States approached us, flew out to ask for meetings, and asked us if we'd be interested in being an anchor in one of their sites in Miami.
Okay.
That's on the water. So we've been down there twice to scope it out. Of course, we can't do anything until rec passes. It wouldn't work until rec goes. So, but we're excited about that. We think we found our first site, and if it happens, full steam ahead.
Yeah. Think of the innovation around that. If that were to happen, open up at a premier location like Miami, and you look at all the stats and how people are consuming more and more about cannabis going up and alcohol going down, what a stepping stone I think that'll be for the industry. And really, a lot of let's face it, Miami's a hot spot, let's face it, across the U.S. as far as entertainment, but what this would do for the industry, don't you think?
Not only that, but if you really think about it, they've got, 900,000 to 1 million medical cards in Florida. That's really residents only of Florida, because there's no reciprocity like we have here in Nevada. So we get 50 million visitors to Las Vegas. Florida gets 120 million visitors. That's 120 million new customers that can't currently buy cannabis in Florida. So the potential, to me, it's the best state in the entire United States for the future of cannabis.
Is there 50 million?
We get 50 million here.
Vegas?
Yeah, in Vegas. They get 120 million in Florida.
Wow.
And then a lot of it's concentrated mostly in Orlando, Miami, and Tampa, St. Pete, of course. But still, it's...
I was actually reading, I remember my 40th, I stayed at the Wynn and Encore back in 2016, 2017, and the room rates were a lot cheaper. I'm now realizing that they have 3,700 rooms, an average of $750 a night, and they're doing about $2.6 million in revenue just on rooms per day.
Yeah.
But hot spot to say the least, but that's Vegas for you, right?
That's exactly right. But what's weird, one other quick fact is they have the Excess nightclub at the Wynn. Open 3 nights a week. They do more per square foot at the club than they do down at the casino floor.
Seriously.
That's crazy.
180 million a year in the roughly.
Well, that's
resident DJs and pool parties, I think, is where a lot of the money and revenue that's being generated now whenever you go to Vegas. I know I see it everywhere. But speaking of entertainment, let's now focus on the agreement or collaboration that you're working with Wiz Khalifa. And you labeled it as it's called a store-in-store at your Planet 13 Entertainment complex. So he's opening up a store within the complex. You want to touch on that? Because I think it launched, if I'm correct, last week. So what's been the feedback so far?
Well, it is early yet. He's going to have his appearances here. I'd like to see what's going to go on. We're excited about it. I think it'll be a great addition to what we're doing. When I say a store in a store, he's going to take up about 4 or 5 cash registers area for his signage and his sales and so on that we lease to him. And around the corner there, right in front of the big 120-foot TV that we have on the wall. So he'll control that part. He's got a great name. We're excited about what he's going to do for Planet 13. The main thing is, of course, we want to drive more people in. We know they'll buy his product, but because of what we do and how many products we have and the entertainment value, together we think the collaboration is going to be a huge success.
Yeah.
How is Nevada performing right now? Like, are you seeing any interesting trends from consumers? I mean, are you seeing any interesting trends in terms of pricing, or has it kind of been as business as usual and the state is kind of normalized post adult use passing years back?
I think it's still down a little bit. Whether or not it's revenue for people, all the other costs going up for people, whether it be groceries and rent and everything we see in the news. I think that's hurt a little bit for the state, even though it's come back from the tourists have come back from the post COVID days. It hasn't completely come back for cannabis in our mind. We'll see what happens there. We are a little bit different animal because people come here from other states all over.
Of course.
If we go look at Pennsylvania and Chicago and in some of these other stores, our prices are actually the same as where they're coming from. So they don't think we're holding some big raping the customer or abusing our situation with the people here. They see it with the locals because the market is down because of the flood of all the cheap cannabis on the market. So our local store has to compete for the locals. Well, we keep our prices higher, of course. We give discounts even in the superstore to all local residents here. But we're not
Okay.
getting hit or any complaints about we're gouging because they're seeing the same thing they're seeing actually where they left their home. So it's a little bit different there for us. We're kind of probably one of the only ones that are like that.
Yeah. How do you think it's evolved? You know, how many years have it been since they have passed adult use in Nevada? How many years has it been?
We started applying for a license in 2014, opened our first store in 2017.
Wow.
It has evolved a lot. There's a lot of stores, but unless you're a larger company, the single stores, they're all hurting. There's 4 or 5 different groups in Vegas that are actually on the market. People like to sell. Other ones that even have 4 or 5 stores are in the market. They haven't been selling. They're getting offers, but they all think they want to get their cash back out, and nobody's got that. Cash is king. Nobody's got the cash anymore. You take my stock, I'll give you this much cash. Well, I thought I was getting all cash. It just happened to another group in town. I won't say their name, but they had 4 or 5 dispensaries, and they're going to get only a little bit of cash, the rest in stock. And that deal fell through.
I remember there was a trend.
Because of that.
I remember there was a trend. There was a trend for a while around the strip. You had a couple of dispensaries that I knew that were pretty big name dispensaries. They kind of boomed with adult use, and then you saw the MSOs come in and just pick them up.
Right, exactly.
One after the other after the other.
Yep.
And then is Trike is still open on the strip?
Trike is actually bought by Cureleaf.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, and they shut their, I believe I know they shut their grow down, their 100,000 square foot grow, because they got to put a whole new roof on it. It was kind of a bad situation, I think, when they bought it. So they're in the middle of doing all of that right now. So haven't really done anything with the dispensary. I expect them to sometime. But right now they're concentrated on getting the roof done so they can get their grow started again up there. So they're kind of trying to buy from everybody in the state right now to supplement that while they're getting that done.
I'd be curious to get your opinion on this whole hemp-derived topic. Have you paid much attention to it? Because we're seeing that more and more as far as a trend in this industry. Like we had Kyle Kazan from Glasshouse on, and he openly said on our podcast that it's definitely something that they're going to be looking into. It's an either or. And we're starting to see how, in some ways, if the Farm Bill is not going to be amended, then there's a number of cannabis companies that are already embracing and pivoting through the times. But I'd be curious to get your opinion on what you think of it and how you kind of see it unfolding. Is it something that you've considered?
We have considered it. We thought, if this is going to be legal, and we've got these Delta 8, Delta 9s on the strip, and as we know, and we've been talking with the county officials, and we had the full team of narcotics specialists out of Metro here complaining about it. They went to test it. Under the current rules, the way it was set up, it's still under the 0.3. They can't do anything about it. But of course, if nothing's tested except that if you're under 0.3, you're fine. There's no testing for pesticides or mildews and all these other things, which is dangerous to the customer. I think, thank goodness, our county is going to address a little farther, hopefully, that anything derived from any type of cannabis is going to fall into the same category. Right now, there's a loophole in it. But I know there's also one big company that we all know that got into Delta 9, not Delta 8. But they are, and I think very intelligently, they are using all the testing and keeping records of all their testing as they sell Delta 9 that they do with regular THC cannabis. So that if something happens, something's going to happen eventually, they're going to show we went through the same precautions that we do with the THC. And so we're looking at it. It's just that how much you invest in it, and we asked some of these people, how much you invest in it before they pass the Farm Bill. Of course, these are politicians. You know how that happens. They've been talking about this for a long time. So we're just stuck in the middle right now, whether or not we want to do it or not. I don't know. We're kind of split on our executive team that half want to do it and half don't want to do it. It's just another huge investment. And it may be flushing money right down the drain if they
the general consensus,
put it all together.
The general consensus has been from other executives that we've talked to is yes, we would explore it, but in a CapEx light manner. Nothing too big that would garner too much investment, because there is that risk of the farm bill potentially being re-rated. And then, I mean, I guess another very, important aspect of your story is the consumption lounge. How's it going with the consumption lounge? And I mean, are you seeing more pop up around Las Vegas?
No, we're still not seeing. We've got one other one up the street a little bit. We just heard some more input. It's okay. It's cute. It's nothing special. It's just walking into a room. There's no real decoration, nothing to whiz anybody to expand your mind and really go crazy inside. So we really don't have really any competition. It's exceeded our expectations. We're currently working with a Mike Tyson group that we're taking the middle VIP lounge, and in conjunction with them, they're creating a montage of all of his famous fights. We turned it into wallpaper the entire room. It now becomes a Mike Tyson room, along with memorabilia for boxing gloves and so on. So he will use it all the time when he's in town. And of course, he has a home here. And he loves coming here. But when he's not here, you can rent the Mike Tyson room, VIP lounge. At the same time, we got comedy clubs scheduled now to go in there on comedy nights. Some of the watch parties in there and are outside both, where you can smoke in there and still go outside in the hallway and drink, because we have that legal. Of course, you can't drink and smoke in the same room. It's just too dangerous. We're not smart enough to understand that. But go outside the consumption lounge, you can drink. Go in the consumption lounge, you can smoke. Go back and forth. But it's kind of silly, but it is what it is. But we're very excited about it. All different events we're holding on in there now, or we're starting to hold.
So to understand the rules, you cannot serve alcohol in the same room that you're consuming cannabis. Is that correct?
Not in the same room. So we have a mall type thing. In each room we have, in business we formed its own post office box number, different suite number. So it's not in the same room. It's a separate business. We did that 3 years ago when we fought the county for that, when we put our full bar in. They said you can't have a cannabis establishment. Yeah, so it's working well. We can serve under portable bars in our plaza for people that are out there. If they want to smoke, they go inside the consumption and come back outside and drink if you want.
Yeah, makes sense. For those that have never been, this is a 112,000 square foot dispensary. Is that number correct?
That is correct.
Okay. When I look at this complex and I walk in, you have Wiz's store now, being tied in with what you're building out within that dispensary itself. You have the consumption lounge. Like, is there a vision as to what you want to build this complex in? Like, if I walked into this 5 years from now, would you notice a difference? Like, you plan on making more changes to it?
Yes. Our final change is, it'll be a separate group, but we'll do a great lease. And again, our whole job is to bring people into Planet 13. So the last expansion is a 60,000 square foot nightclub that will rival anything on the Las Vegas Strip.
That's awesome.
When we're done with that, and the museum, which we should open in October, and that's about 14,000 square feet, 2-story, we'll end up with 150,000 square foot under one roof, because some will be multi-level.
Will that nightclub fall under the purview of Planet 13, or that'll be just lease space to another nightclub group?
Lease space to another nightclub group. Yes.
Got it.
Gotcha.
If they even do what they assume they're going to do, and we only get 1 in 5 people that shop in the cannabis for the cannabis, right? Only 1 in 5, and they do the average basket, we can generate another $8 to $9 million in revenue for Planet 13 just selling more cannabis.
Wow.
So it's getting the people here. You got to create the draw that they want to come over to Planet 13. It's the entertainment complex of Vegas is what we know we're doing.
You got space in the middle of the room for us to do a podcast if we come out there, my friend?
We've got one right now in the plaza, absolutely. And we're in the middle of designing 2 podcast studios, actually in the area. It'll be a while. Over there by the area that Khalifa has got his store in a store. So we'll have 2 professional podcast studios, that one full-time and the other one will be leasing out, because there's just so much demand in Vegas, of course, all the movie stars and so on that come down.
We got to showcase this Mike Tyson room. So if he's at MJ Biz, which he normally is, we got to set this up and be down there and interview him in that room. Would that not be fun, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, he's great guy, too. He just loves us. He doesn't know our names. Bob and myself even told us, guys, I can't remember your name. You're Planet 13. That's all I call you. So if you see us, hey, Planet 13, how are you?
Yeah. We were actually at an event last year, Anthony and I, at that. Was that at Aria? Man, when they came in, there was him. Who else was there? Was there Chuck Liddell?
Oh yeah,
Others.
that was at the Canaccord event
Yeah.
at Aria. Yeah.
I was talking to a few people. I looked to my left and I'm like, where'd Anthony go? And then I just saw this huge cloud of smoke going towards the back of the room. And I looked and it was him. There's a few other celebs. Well, Ric Flair obviously was there, but Chuck Liddell was there. I could not believe the size of that man. Oh my God. Like
all night, all great, nice people though. Could not say a bad thing about them. Yeah.
Yeah. That's for sure. Well, congrats, obviously, on the collaboration with Wiz. And like I said, just want our viewers to get an update. I'm not going to bore you with, obviously, this rescheduling. But, you know, when you look at adult use that's gone live for 7+ years, like when you have conversations with political leaders from Nevada, maybe the message needs to get through to people from Washington a little bit more. But how have they evolved over time and how do they view it? I'm assuming it's a great thing, knowing the amount of tax revenue it's generating.
Well, they all say they're for it, but I don't know that I believe any of them. Just like in 2 years ago, when they did all their fundraising, you know, even the Democrats, especially Democrats, fundraising, they were going to go deschedule and say safe banking, and we all donated to help to get them elected. And they get in, and we'll do it. We're too busy right now. We'll do it later. I can't believe any of what they're going to say. To our face, they'll tell us, "Oh, we'll support you. We'll help you out. How much are you able to donate to my campaign so I can get in?" I just lost.
So when they say they're too busy at the moment, what do you say in a situation like that?
Yeah. That
they know you can't really say anything.
That we may have to hold back funds next time, or we're not going to be as generous. And
no kidding.
If you can't follow through now.
Yeah.
And we are doing that now in some of them. And they frustrate you. If they lied to me once, you can lie to me again. And we're backing out and looking up on supporting other people. Going to give them a try.
What's the phrase that George W. said? Fool me once, shame on me. Or fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Something like that.
Right. It's exactly right.
Well, listen, I hope to see you later this fall. I know MJ Biz a little bit later this year, early December, but it's always a good time. Going to be in around the same time this rescheduling hearing, which is going to take place on December 2nd. So hopefully we'll have enough time to be in Washington and out in Vegas. But if we do, look forward to swinging by and seeing you. And obviously, congrats. Real quick before I let you go, Wiz will be at your dispensary with the launch of his store. It's this Friday, August 30th, correct?
Correct.
And what time will he be there at?
Oh, boy. Yeah, we just heard it yesterday, too. I got too many numbers going through my head. So is it 3 o'clock? Was it, I think?
I think, if I'm correct, he'll be there on this Friday, August 30th. Yep. And for those that want to know, Planet 13 Entertainment Complex in Las Vegas. And that's just right off the Strip, one of the biggest landmarks, destinations in the great city of Las Vegas. So be one of the 50 million tourists there and swing on by this week. But listen, tell the whole team that we say hi and let's keep in touch. Okay, Larry?
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Bye.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching our latest podcast. What'd you all think? Is there any information that we're missing? Is there anything you want us to cover? As these industries heat up, we're getting access to more and more big hosts. So let us know the questions that you want us to ask for you. As usual, smash that like button. We want this to go viral. Click on that bell for all notifications for the latest interviews that we're doing. And as usual, let's build this community. Subscribe to our channel because we appreciate it, because we wouldn't be here without you. Thanks for watching, everyone.